They don't know what their hourly pay is. We've talked about that on this microphone in the past. But they also don't know what it takes to run a business. They also don't pay attention or even sit down and crunch the numbers.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
There is a bit of a risk doing a show like today's show because we're going to get into numbers, we're going to get into finance, and whenever you do that on audio, it can sometimes get muddied. So I'm going to keep it on a high level. We're going to talk principles, but we're also going to talk some details because I think it's important as business owners to kind of know where you need to be. Speaking of something that's very complicated on the back end, but very, very easy on the front end, easy to understand, that's ANOW software. It's complicated because it does so much, manages your entire appraisal office, but so easy to use. The usability on this program is absolutely streamlined. It's plug and play, folks. Check it out. Go to anow.com/coach. One more time. It's anow.com/coach. We're going to talk today about your monthly nut, all right? Get your mind out of the gutter, not that nut. We're talking about the nut that you got to crack every single month in order to be successful, in order to continue in the lifestyle that you have made for yourself, to continue in paying your bills, your overhead, making sure if you've got employees, got contractors, that they're taken care of. We're going to talk about what that is. And the principle here is that you keep that in mind. Now, here's what I'm finding. As I'm mentoring, coaching, consulting with appraisers, business owners across the country, here's what I find. Very few small business owners know what their finances are. I know it sounds crazy. It's something that I am in on a regular basis. I don't know how you can run a successful business and not know your numbers, but I'm telling you folks, it is more common than you would think it. I know it's not you. It's none of you listening. It's your neighbor. It's your colleague. It's your peer. But there's a lot of appraisers that don't know what their finances are. They don't know what their hourly pay is. We've talked about that on this microphone in the past. But they also don't know what it takes to run a business. They also don't pay attention or even sit down and crunch the numbers. In fact, here's the thing, folks. I'm not a numbers person. I'm really not. I get a little geeky when it comes to numbers sometimes, but I only am a numbers person because I'm forced to. And when I say forced to, I could ignore it. I could pretend it's not there. I could not pay attention. I could never figure those numbers out. And you know what? The first, 12 years of my business, that's kind of how it was. I mean, on a high level, I kind of knew where I was, but the details, not at all. I didn't know how to look at a balance sheet, didn't know a balance sheet from a schmalance sheet. It made no sense to me at all. So why look at it? I didn't know what a profit loss statement was. Sure, I could tell you kind of in general. Yeah, it's a sheet that tells you your profits and your losses. I had no clue. Had no clue how to read a profit loss statement. And folks, now I'm looking at those at least quarterly. As a small business owner, it's nobody else's job. It's not a CFO. You are the CFO and the CEO and the president and the technician and everybody else. You've got to know where your finances are. You've got to. So let's talk on a high level. Let's talk about this principle of knowing, understanding what it is that you need to be hitting on a monthly basis. It's that simple. I found that as a small business owner, if I can make the big concepts small, if I can make the big complicated stuff understandable, that I'm going to be in a better place moving forward to make decisions. If it's complicated, I won't do it. And if I don't do it, it never gets done. If it never gets done, I fail. And so the easier I can make it, the better I'm going to be as a business owner to make decisions on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year basis. And part of understanding that and part of it becoming simple is understanding what I call the monthly nut. That's that level, that floor, if you will, that goal that you have to achieve in order to make things work. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't go under 1 month or maybe 2 months or even 3 months. But it means that in general, this is the level that you need. This is the goal. This is the financial push every month for you to be happy. And when I say happy, I mean the bills are paid. Your contractors, your employees are paid. You've paid your taxes. You even put a little away for savings and slush fund. And you as an owner have also received your salary and or distributions depending on how you are set up as an entity. What is your monthly nut? Do you know what that level is? Do you know how that translates into orders? How many orders do you need to do every month if your average fee is X in order to meet that monthly nut? As a business owner, do you know what that level is? As a business owner, do you also understand how important technology is? Do you understand how important it is to be able to look at those numbers on a regular basis? Now software allows you to do that. I'll tell you something that I do on a regular basis. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it as we're talking here. I'm opening up a browser. I click on Now software. It's a bookmark on my browser. I happen to use Chrome. And just like that, it's opened up. And just like that, I'm going to hit Analytics. And I do this regularly, folks, because I want to know how close I am to the monthly nut. How close are we getting? I quickly do this month, year to date. I click on the created tab, how many orders have been created. And bam, just like that, I'm looking at where we're at in the progress. Right now is the 20th of the month. So I should be 3/4 of the way there. And I can proudly say that we are beyond that we're doing just fine for this month. Feeling really good about things. Folks, that's how easy it is to do analytics when it comes to Now software. If you want to really understand what's going on in your appraisal office, check out Now software. Go to anow.com. That's anow.com/coach. All right, folks, we are back. We're talking today about understanding finances. And again, you can get into a lot of nitty gritty details. I'm going to get into some details just really quickly. Don't tune out. Okay, this is super important. This is in general where a small business, a service business. Okay, we're not kicking out widgets. This is a small service business and where they should be roughly. Okay, if you've got a pen and paper, write this down. If you're driving, just bookmark this, come back to it later. Okay. In general, a small service business like an appraisal business should be about 20% for operating expenses. Okay. This is including your gas. This is including your software, your hardware, your membership fees, on and on and on. Okay. Everything that it takes to run your appraisal business should be right around the 20% mark. Okay. If you're not, you need to find out where now if you're much less, well, kudos to you. Okay. But if you're much over that, you need to probably start trimming some fat. Okay. Now, if you have employees, if you have contractors, they should take up about 40%. Okay. Owner salaries and distributions should be hovering right around 30%. That includes your salaries and your distributions, right around 30%. By the way, the taxes come out of that. Okay. And then your savings and your slush fund. If you're doing the math at home, you've got about 10% left over that you can put away in an escrow account. This is what's going to carry you through if you have some slow months. Is that 10%, okay? That's the rainy day fund. That's the savings account that you don't touch unless you absolutely have to, but it's there for you, okay? Now, I know some of you are looking at that and say, well, Dustin, if an owner makes 30% of the gross, why not just not hire, and the extra 40% that you said I should be paying to payroll is now mine. I'm now making 70%. Hey, you know what? Look, you understand math. That's great. I did that for 12 plus years. And I got what all of my peers we're getting. Good luck with that. Yeah, I took home 70% roughly for those 12 years. The problem is 70% of what? We're talking percentages, not totals here, okay? And I can tell you that my per hour has gone through the roof once I started hiring and training, managing a great team, a great group of people who surround me, and that we all have a common goal, okay? Another podcast for another day. I'm just simply giving you some financial benchmarks. But most importantly, what I really wanted to get to today is to help you to understand the importance, and it's important, the importance of understanding what that monthly nut is. What is it for you? Okay, where do you need to be? I know what that number is. I know what that number is, and I'm constantly looking at Now software to find out where I'm at so that I can work a little bit harder and drive a little bit stronger if it looks like we're going to come short of that monthly nut. Super, super important. Thanks for joining me, folks. Another thing that's super important is these kind of tips, this kind of information brought right to your mailbox every single month. And it's called the All-Star Team. It's $9 a month, folks. What are you waiting for? Check it out. Go to theappraisercoach.com/memberships. One more time, www.theappraisercoach.com/memberships.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star Team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.
One more time. Sorry, editor. Back that up.